What's up, gamers? I'm here with two highly esteemed yearbook students, and we're here to tell you about a couple of things that you need to know. Check your school email for a link to order your cap and gown. If you're a senior and you're graduating, obviously you need to order your cap and gown. Do that immediately. Wendy told me to tell you that. Also, check your email for an email from the school regarding senior quotes and yearbook survey. Click the forms link in that email to fill out the yearbook survey and to submit your senior quote. We will not be accepting submissions after February 13th, as it says in the email. Okay? Please fill that stuff out, and don't forget to buy a yearbook. This is a very serious matter. If I don't sell all of them, then we'll be in a deficit, I guess. We will have lost money.
Yeah. Buy the yearbook.
Buy a yearbook. Say it.
Buy a yearbook. Please, oh please.
I'm here with Fede today, guys. And what do you want to see on MHS TV?
Well, you are doing a great job. I think it's the best program on TV so far. But I would like to see why a teacher chooses to be a teacher. Then maybe you can ask all the teachers here why they want to be a teacher, why they are so comfortable teaching to you. Thank you very much.
So why did you want to become a teacher?
A couple of things. One, I worked in an office for a little while and I hated it. Time went really, really slow. Like I was watching the clock all the time. And I was like, I can't do this. And then I started thinking about my teachers, and I had a couple of teachers who were amazing, and I wanted to be like that. And so I decided to become a teacher, and it's been amazing.
Why did I want to become a teacher? You know, I've always wanted to be a teacher, and I feel very privileged that I get to teach all the things that I love. I love to cook, I love to sew, I love to talk about money, and I love relationships, so it works out great for me. I think that's an important thing when you choose a career, is to choose something that you have a passion for, and that way you don't have to work so hard, because I get to teach all the things I love, and I've loved being a teacher for 25 years.
Oh wow. Couldn't be me. But that's awesome.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi Tyler, why did you become a teacher?
My junior year in high school, I took a history class from Mr. Hodson, and it was the first class I ever really did good in. And I think that kind of stuck with me for a while, and then I had a few different mentors and things kind of steer me this way from that point on. But it all started with the class my junior year that I did good in.
Awesome.
Hey Kayla, so what drove you to becoming a teacher?
My car drove me here today. Nah, just kidding. That's a funny joke, huh? I decided that I wanted to become a teacher because when I was little, like really little, I would teach my little brother. So before he even went into kindergarten, I was teaching him like all the stuff that I was learning in my grade, and I'm 5 years older than him, so I would make him sit in front of this whiteboard that my parents got me, and I would write my name as like Mrs., like whoever my crush was that week, and I would teach him stuff. So he knew cursive before any of the kids did. Like he knew all this stuff because I was teaching him like 5th grade stuff. So that was cool. But then in high school, I changed my mind and didn't want to be a teacher anymore. But eventually, I had this really horrible teacher at Bountiful High, and he made me want to be a teacher again so I could do the exact opposite of what he did. So, yep.
That's good.
Here I am.
That's good. Thank you, Kayla.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, Cody, what drove you to being a teacher?
You know, it's kind of a big story. I actually became a teacher as I was looking into careers, and I love science. I love everything about biology and studying living things and being outside. And as I was going to school, I realized that I kind of like teaching and I like people and I like young people. And I looked at trying to become a teacher, and it kind of fit. I kind of like it. So I just kept going with my education and became a teacher and love it still.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
Yep, thanks.
All right, Jamie, what drove you to doing what you do?
Well, I really like science. I've always liked it, and I had a teacher that really helped me, like, as a person when I was in 7th grade. It was a really rough time, and I remember thinking that I kind of just wanted to be like her and to be able to help people. And so that's really what it came down to, is that I wanted to be able to work with people, but also share my love for science.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hey, Andrea, what drove you to become a teacher?
Well, that is a loaded question and actually a really hard question to ask a teacher, I think. There are lots of reasons I became a teacher. I tried to not be a teacher for 6 years in college, kept changing my major, but there wasn't any other job I could see myself doing. I couldn't see myself behind a desk. I couldn't see myself. I just want to be in a classroom. I just want to be with students.
Right. Thank you, Angela. Okay, John, what led you to being a teacher?
Well, I haven't been a teacher my entire career. In fact, just the past 8 or 9 years. Prior to that, I worked in government, and prior to that, I also was involved in youth leadership. And the two came together after I retired from my first job perfectly in teaching government to students here at Mountain High. Something I love doing, and I'm happy to be here.
Sweet.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Okay, John, what drove you to become a teacher?
What drove me to become a teacher? Okay, to be honest, when I was in 11th grade, I went into school with my mom, and they had kind of the thing where they figure out what you want to do as a career. And it wasn't with a counselor, it was with my homeroom teacher. And so I was sitting there, and she's like, what do you want to do? And I said, well, maybe I want to be an airline pilot or maybe a teacher. And I remember my 11th grade teacher saying, you're not smart enough to go to college. You need to get a different job. And that ticked me off. And so I went to college, and I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I had an opportunity to go and teach English to some refugees, people from Russia and some other places. And I just loved teaching. I loved that experience of teaching them. And so I decided I was going to double down and prove that teacher wrong. So that's why I'm a teacher.
Oh, that's really good, John.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you, John.
So don't let people squash your dreams.
Hey Travis, what made you want to be a teacher?
When I was a senior in high school, I had a really bad math teacher. He was not great. And I remembered having other math teachers that were really awesome, so it was basically a horrible experience in math, and I said, I bet that I could do this better than this guy. And I had a lot of good influences. Mrs. Ogborn, she was my best teacher, math teacher, so I wanted to be Mrs. Ogborn, so here I am. I actually taught math for like 10 years before I moved over to CTE, so I did it for a while, and now I'm doing other stuff, the robotics and manufacturing, so it's cool.
Hi Travis, how's it going?
Great, Caleb, how are you?
Pretty good. What was your first car?
I had a 2005 Nissan Sentra, because that's what my sister bought, and I bought it off of her.
Very nice. What was your first car?
My very first car was a 1984 bright green Ford Opel car that they don't even make anymore.
What was your first car?
My first car was a 1998 Chevy Lumina. It was a retired police interceptor. I loved it, except the transmission was not great.
What was your first car?
So my first car was a Honda something, and it was manual, and we called it Zippy. It's a good car.
Hi JC.
Hi.
What was your first car?
It was a Volvo. And it was manual. And it had a sunroof that never closed. And I lived in Portland, and it rained a lot. And the heat never stopped coming out. But it was a Volvo. It was great.
That's amazing.
Fun.
Thank you. How are you doing, Fede?
Really good, my friend. Always good in Mountain High.
What was your first car?
That was the best car that you can imagine. A Jeep. But not an American one. An Italian Fiat. And the best thing, it didn't have a key. You need to go in the front and with a crank. Oh! And all the girls loved it. All right, that was my first car. You can Google it and look for a Fiat Campagnola, 1962. Wonderful car.
Thank you,
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you.
My first car, I was in high school, it was a rusty red Subaru wagon, and it could fit my whole soccer team in it.
My first car was a Datsun 240Z. It was a 1971. It was a sweet white, and it was a stick shift. You guys probably don't even know what stick shift is anymore. It was just a sweet car.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day. What was your first car?
My first car was a 1987 red Toyota Corolla FX16 hatchback. Stick shift, and it was awesome. I loved it.
That's amazing. Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.
What was your first car?
Oh, it was a 1985 Honda Accord. And the power steering didn't work in it because it was old, even for when I was young. It was still an old car. So that was my car, and it was amazing. And I named it Rhonda. Rhonda the Honda. Yeah.
Thank you, Kat.
Yep.
What was your first car?
My first car was a Bronco, like one of those old, like sick, old school Broncos. And then I put, I remember I was like all into like systems. And so I got one of those like band pass boxes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like they got with like 212s in it and just bumping. Yeah, it was fun.
What was your first car?
My first car is my current car. I've had it for a decade. It's a Toyota Echo. It barely drives.
What was your first car?
Oh, Galaxy 500, 3 on the tree, 1967.
That's amazing.
Bright red. It was great.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
What was your first car?
First car was a Chevy S10. It was a small truck. It was probably like the size of you. It was teeny. And it had like this sweet stripe on the side. It was like a shooting star with like a galaxy. And it was gray, and like the paint was chipping off. And it was a stick, so that was super cool.
My first car was a 1956 powder blue Buick Century. Now you have to realize it was old then. I mean, you know, you're thinking, man, 58, he's an old dude. It was an old car when I got it in 78. I mean, it was 20 years old at that point, and it was a great car.
What was your first car?
1981 Toyota Corolla hatchback, 2-door, white.
Very nice.
Sweet.
Well,
a manual transmission.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brock.
Yep.
What was your first car?
First car or best car?
First car.
First car was a 1950 DeSoto. My dad was a car dealer, and somebody traded it in because it was just sitting in their front yard, and he sold it to me for $50, and it was round, and I had to repaint it, and I actually had to take the head off and fix one of the valves, and it had a 3 on the tree, so it was like a stick shift, but it was on the steering column. It was an awesome car. 1950 DeSoto.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Have a great weekend.
Go Mountain.